All right, babies. I powered through good today, man. I think I did about. Sorry. My new beginnings are going to be this. So now, doing something full on and getting it out of your system. I was supposed to do this note earlier, but I wanted to tell you guys how my thought process happens. Also, kind of to establish some form of rhythm between me and between us. Yeah, rhythm is love. Anyways, uh, doing something full on and getting it out of your system. These are two different approaches, and for me specifically, because I look at how. So there's I think in the early '60s or late '50s, there was a song that kicked ass in the United States. And what happened is like every household listened to that song, played that song, and they found the guy who basically wrote it, and they went to him. Forgot the name of the song. Maybe I should actually like start doing a bit more. You know what? One second. Uh, Let me find it for you guys and come back. All right, I couldn't find it. So this has been fun. So far, you've been stopped twice at least while we're having this video. We're sharing this video. But anyways, the core of the song is they found this guy and they tried to interview him, and they really didn't want to talk to people. And it was just like when they asked him how, like, what inspired you to do the song, he kept repeating one thing. It's like it just had to come out of me. It had to come out of me, and he didn't care for music, or he was never a musician. All he did was figure out the instruments and whatever he needed in order for that song to get out of his brain. Uh, it fascinated me because for the first time, I didn't see someone going towards something and trying to do something. I saw something coming out of somebody. And I feel this is a different approach because sometimes you kind of like you make a decision and you're like, I want to be a cyclist. So effectively, you wake up every day and you just get on the bicycle and you start basically cycling. Or you could be like, I mean, if you guys know strongman, there's Eddie Hall, and that guy wanted to be the world's number one. And what he wanted it to it needed to come out of him because effectively the minute he won the title, he quit. That's all he cared for. It's like it had to come out. While the other people he competed with basically won it six, seven times and are always kind of like competing because for them that's what they wanted to do. For him, he didn't care. Just he wanted to be number one, and the minute he was number one, he got the title for the year. He was like, "Fuck all this shit, I'm done." And so this distinct separation, I think, is very important, especially when we're picking the tasks that we want to do and we're trying to understand what our goals are. Because a lot of people, for example, in the business world, they build a company and then the minute they do, they sell it. They don't care. And then they jump onto something else and they explore the world and they live life the way it is. Other people would just go around and start, while other people kind of stuck with their company and that's what they wanted to do. Everything about them basically became identified with what they're doing. Full on, everything about their life became that. And I think maybe I wrote this down, especially after talking about like consistency and the constancy being constant and consistent, and the tentative approach versus like the solid approach. I think because it's literally like the third note after them, right? Like one first constant, consistent, and then basically the tentative approach and the solid approach, and then afterwards is this one. And I think maybe I wrote this because for me, I was kind of my approach towards what I'm doing. I'm not sure right now if it's a full on approach or it's getting it out of my system approach. Now, every day from morning till night, I'm doing exactly what I think I have to do in order to get there. And I read it today. It's like this: I don't have any sunk costs. right? If there's a new skill I need to learn, I'll learn it. If there's a skill that's not going to be used, I'll not fucking continue learning it. I'll jump to the things that I need. There's no need for me to kind of think about these kinds of things. And I slowly, gradually got better at doing these things because I realized like sometimes the price of failing at something could have been failing earlier, and it could have been cheaper if you failed earlier. Like there are some things you're gonna fail with. Just like fail in accordance to how it is instead of how you would want to notice it. Like, But anyways, so doing something full on and getting it out of your system. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm discussing it with you guys. It's practically a it allows you to notice the different aspects of what you're trying to work towards. Because there are a lot of things that just have to happen once and that's enough. And anytime you kind of like need them, you get back to them. And there are a lot of things you have to consistently be introducing every single day to make sure like every single thing, every single step you take has them included. And to do something full on, it requires intensity. It requires you to maybe lack even creativity. It requires you to do the foundational basics every single chance you can. To dedicate sacrifice every single day, every single week, every single month. There's a pattern there. Before lunch, every lunch break, I have no idea. Like if you're on a diet and you're going full on, then basically you're gonna every day, every breakfast, every lunch, every dinner, you're gonna be doing something about that. But if you just want to fast so you can get it out of your system, a lot of people fast for a week, for 2 weeks, even for a couple of months. And after they do that, they never fast again because all they wanted was to fast this one time and try it out. They felt they had to, they needed, and whatever. It is fascinating when you split things and you try to explain them. It is just like that your mind always is throwing stuff in your way. And sometimes you laugh and sometimes you pass. I think these are the memes where they show you like a stoner type that's kind of like thinking about stuff. But the only difference between us and them is probably when they smoke, they're a lot slower when it comes to the real world. So they notice their mind, they notice what's going on inside their mind. Whilst for us, we're always preoccupied with different things, so we don't get to like see them. And ultimately, these things are disregarded in our day-to-day activities because effectively every single day what happens is we're distracted. And so when you're approaching something, right? And back to the previous video, it's either a tentative approach or a strong approach or solid one. A tentative approach, that means you probably didn't give it a lot of thought, you're not putting a lot of energy, there's all kinds of things that kind of like revolve around how that is not really an approach that takes you far. But as well, one of the things we have to adjust is like if this approach, forget the tentativeness behind it, and the intention behind it, and the price we're willing to pay for it, the sacrifice we're willing to do for it. And sometimes it's as simple as spend enough time on it. Well, sometimes it's you have to take bits and pieces of your day because it doesn't matter how good I am at, for example, running. If I don't stop smoking, I will not be able to compete. So I'm sacrificing my time running and I'm gonna sacrifice as well like getting rid of something that I already do. And I really think these parts, these small parts, I mean, for some people, maybe they happen naturally. But for me, it feels like, I don't know, maybe because I have ADHD, but it feels like I need to be able to resolve them and consciously be able to resolve them. Because for something to come out of my mind and come into the present, it passes through me. And if I don't understand it fully, I don't know how to commit to it. And if I don't know how to commit to it, if I don't know what commitments it might require, and if I don't know what commitments it might require, I wouldn't know how to commit to it. Right? So everything is connected, and and it's beautiful. I'm gonna go to Miyamoto Musashi. The guy says, "Never stray from the way." And when you find the way, you can apply it to anything else within your surroundings. Any skill, because ultimately, when you find the way, you have found the road that leads, road that leads from something to just come, and for you to kind of like thought present it. And it's not presented. You're by people. Anything we do in this world is an expression of us. And if it doesn't look like us, or if it doesn't look good, it's because we don't really look good to ourselves. And I really think it's just finding the way that he talks about is us being able to deliver something exactly how our mind perceives it. And through it, we look at ourselves with respect, honor, love, compassion, all kinds of beautiful things, virtues of Bushido. This is a beautiful ending for today's spree. I did 5 videos today, so fuck yeah. Laia, whoever reaches this will get a share in my company. I'll send you fucking stock, I promise. Whoever reaches this point. Before the end of the year, I guess, or before March 2024.